everyone. My name is Jason. I'm here for Daily Dose of Hope Day 290. So I've been coming on for about 290 days consecutively, almost consecutively, to give a daily dose of hope. This is something that I was guided to do about almost a year ago in February, because my guides had told me that at that time we were in a lull, kind of an energetic lull, and that was going to start picking up again. As you probably have noticed, these past crazy years, there are these waves in many different ways that you can think of it. This word waves came up a lot, but yeah, there have been these energetic waves. And so we are in the middle of a crazy one, a big one. And yeah, I was guided to come on to give a daily dose of hope. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. My name is Jason. And yeah, so a daily dose of hope is just a daily dose of hope to help you to stay in that middle path. You know, the yin and yang symbol has both polarities in it, but we can walk down that thin line in the middle, and we can be in peace, and we can walk through these times in peace, even though it seems as though the world is falling apart around us. And yeah, so a daily dose of hope has usually 3 parts, but I'm so busy with so much stuff right now. Got too much stuff. I'm spinning plates at the moment. So we're splitting it down just to 2 parts. So just a bit of a chat and a channeling. And speaking of spinning plates, I have a friend who's a puppeteer, and he invited me to a puppet convention here in Japan. And it's a really cool community, the puppeteers here. And it was such an amazing thing. All these guys were putting on these one-man shows with these puppets. And there was also a guy who was spinning plates. And so I bought a spinning plate set there, and I was learning. I spent about a year doing that. So I can spin those plates. It's a talent that I don't think it will ever come in handy. But if you want to know how to spin plates, but they actually have these special plates that fit well. I think you can do it with normal plates, but I just haven't tried it because I don't want to break them. So today, what I'd like to go into, though, is I just want to talk a little bit about humor. So this is kind of like branching off of what we were talking about yesterday and then the day before. Yesterday we were talking about how you might have that person in your life that can destroy you with one sentence or one word, and how to understand that when they are in that place, sometimes it's not them, sometimes it's a different energy. And that we were talking about that phrase, I don't know what came over me, right? Yeah, well, we know what came over you. So based on this kind of idea, I wanted to kind of extend on that a little bit. And I was just going to talk about humor, because this is kind of related. A lot of people will use humor to build barricades, to build a fortress around themselves, right? And I know this because I was one of them. I used to build a barricade around myself using humor. And, the funny thing about it's not funny, but humor, a lot of times humor can be very sad. I mean, you look at the sad clown, humor is a very complicated and a very difficult thing. It's easy to do it badly, I think. But to do it well, you have to really have talent. And I don't think I had that talent. And I wasn't even doing it to amuse people or anyone. I was doing it to present this fortress. I made a fortress out of comedy, out of just humor. And so one good example of that is, I don't know, I'm dating myself a bit. The younger generation probably isn't familiar with this, but there used to be the Friends TV show back in the 90s, and there was a character on there called Chandler. And that's what he did too. He would use his humor to build a fortress around himself so that he would feel no pain, and that he would protect himself with his humor. And so I wanted to talk about that because I find now that since that I understand how that feels and what that's like to do that, and how hard it is to break down that fortress. It's very scary because once you break it down, then you're completely vulnerable. You're just like out this is me, all my flaws, all my inability to do different things, but it's a lot easier to be that because you don't have to build the fortress anymore. But at first it's a bit scary. It's like, what are people going to think, And what you realize in the end is it doesn't really matter. You're just who you are, and you don't need anything to protect yourself, from other people because they're you. Why do you protect yourself from yourself? But these fortresses, though, that people build, what happens, though, and there's, it's related to, I guess, similar to that person in your life that can tear you down. It's also that person in your life that uses this humor to build a fortress around themselves. And in a sense, they become like a vampire for your energy. Like they suck your energy in because they don't know what they're doing, right? So yeah, forgive them for they know not what they do. But they don't realize what they're doing, but they're sucking all the energy out of the room. And so I have another person in my life that does it, and I understand. I see where they're coming from. I understand. I was there. I know that pain, that feeling, that sadness, and that you just have to build that fortress around you. But what I find is just I get so drained. Oh, don't take all my energy. That's my energy. I don't have a lot of it. So just about this, the usage of humor and how a lot of times humor is not really funny. Like we think about humor and we think of it, oh, it's just great. And we think about laughing, but a lot of humor is very dark. It's a very dark thing. And it's really difficult to make light humor, I think. And the people that do, I'm just amazed by it. It's beautiful. So just as in anything, even in comedy, there is the yin and the yang. And you'll notice, right, that in all of the different societies around the world, who has the most power? The comedians, right? Among all the actors, who is the most famous actor? The one that was the comedian, right? The clown. And, we could go into all that. I've never, I don't really get into that kind of stuff, but I've heard on YouTube, there's people talking about DMT and how they go into the DMT world and they see these clowns. Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting thing. And I think there's some native societies too that they kind of see like people that are in the other realm as clowns. I think there's something related to that as well. It is a yin and yang thing, I think. I mean, I think it can be used for such, there are some comedians that I love. I can't remember the one guy's name. I think his name is Alistair. Where's he from? But he's a redheaded guy, really long red hair. And he has just great comedy, and he's so funny. And he doesn't, so with comedians, the easiest thing to do for a comedian, right? Not that I'm a master at this or anything. I don't, not at all. I'm just good at dad jokes. And you can't say that you're good at dad jokes. It's like I say dad jokes. It's something I'm trying to get over. That it's really easy in comedy for people to put down other people, right? They'll pick someone out of the audience and put them down. And that's so easy. It's so easy to do. It's just like gratuitous violence in a movie. It's like, that's easy, But it's really difficult to that fine line of creating something that can bring humor and bring love to people, So I'm looking forward to the new humor that's coming out and all these new comedians that will finally get their chance, right? So anyway, I just wanted to talk about humor and how people can use humor to build fortresses around themselves, and then that fortress can take your energy away as well. And it's kind of a silly thing. I imagine like people of higher dimensional beings looking down on us and saying, why are they doing that? Like, they don't have to do that, They're perfectly loved. They're made of love. They don't have to, But anyway, I just wanted to share that today. And I'm going to go into a channeling, and I'm going to, by the way, I hope I didn't offend anyone yesterday with the talk about religion, but it's just something that I feel like I think religion's great, but if it limits you, I'm not a big fan of things that limit people. That's all. But that's just my thing. So yeah, sorry if I offended anyone. So I'm going to go into a channeling, and I'm going to ask them about today. Today's January 15th, 14th, 2025. And I'm just going to, yeah, see what they have to say for today. TT Tracy, you say humor keeps us going these days. Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Greetings. We are that one that you know of as Mary Magdalene, and we would like to talk about this idea of humor on your planet, of the idea of humor. Now, in the time that I was incarnate on your planet, we also had comedians as well. And the idea of comedy has always been similar in that sense. It has always been two sides of a coin, two sides, two ways of looking at something. And humor is a wonderful thing, but it can be used in so many different ways, just as anything. It is just a tool, just as a knife is a tool that can be used to create beautiful and wonderful dishes, but it also can be used to inflict harm. And that is the key. Humor is a tool, and as all of the tools that are available on your planet, you have free will to use it as you choose. But we would say the higher perspective on humor. Humor is one of the most complicated things on your planet and, well, throughout the universe, because you as humans are so creative and so able to come up with so much new ideas, so many new ideas, and so much new humor that beings from all over the universe are so entertained by all of the things that you do, by your humor itself in all of its sides. It is so entertaining for everyone involved how you can take a situation and turn it into something else. This is beautiful. This is an enchantment that you have, that you're able to create such beautiful things, and you're able to bring smiles and bring laughter, tears of laughter and smiles to people all around the world just with your humor. What a beautiful thing, what a beautiful art that it is. And we would say that it is very much necessary in these times. As this being talks about walking the middle path, humor is a very useful tool to help you to walk the path, to be able to see the humor in all things that are happening around you, to understand that there is a higher purpose to everything involved, and to see the larger picture, and to be able to take a step back and laugh. And laugh not in a cynical way. And this is what we would refer to. Most of the laughter that has been going on recently on your planet is very cynical. And we would say that the cynical laughter is one way of using laughter. As this being said, it covers pain. It's a covering of pain. It's a way to paint over the pain. It's a band-aid on the pain, and it presents an image to the outside world that you are not in pain. But when you're in pain, it's important to show that you're in pain so that others can help you. Otherwise, they can't get through the humor. They can't get through the humor. It is such a fortress. It is such a fortress. There is no entrance into that fortress. And so that is what we would say about humor. To use humor to look at your situation and be able to take a step back. That is the beauty of humor, that you are able to take a step back from your situation and laugh, and to see, joyfully laugh. Ah, how interesting this all was. All of these things, all of these events in my life. I thought that this would be the end of my life, but this was the beginning of my life. And you're able to take a step back and just laugh and say, wow, I was so nervous, I was so worried, I was so confused, but I didn't need to be at all. Everything moved in the most perfect way imaginable. And all I needed to do was just to flow along with it and to listen to those inner nudgings and to listen to my heart. So humor is a very powerful skill, but it also can be used to inflict pain as well. And so what we would say to all of you is, what kind of humor are you ingesting at this moment? What type of humor do you watch? And by watching the humor that you watch, that is what you become, and that is what you create. So by watching something, you create, you put your energy onto it, your amazing energy onto it, and you create more of that. And so what we would say to you is that there is no judgment for this. You are free. You have complete and utter free will. But what we would say is, which would you like to choose? Which world would you like to live in? All right. Laughter is supposed to be a strong healing tool. Yeah, definitely, definitely. It can really break through the darkness too when you get this really heavy atmosphere, and you can just use laughter and humor, And I guess that's that, yeah. So, humor as a tool. Humor as a tool for the ascension. So, anyway, TT Tracy, thanks for joining in. Everyone else, thanks for joining in. And I hope you guys are all hopeful. And hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. Ciao for now. And go beach. TT Tracy, the movie Airplane is still the funniest movie ever. Yeah, I agree. Like, that's my kind of humor. I have a recommendation, but it's I'm not sure if if it's cynical or not, but there's a YouTube channel called Neuralviz, Neuralviz, and it's just the silliest thing. But yeah, I'm not sure if I don't think it's humor that is like appealing to everyone. It's kind of, I think it has a very small niche, but it's, yeah, if you like it, it's just amazing. And you say the movie Airplane too. I agree though. That slapstick humor is just great. It's so funny. Yeah. I gotta go back and watch Airplane and Police Academy. So I hope you guys are hopeful, and I hope you're laughing, and I hope you have humor in your life, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow.